Hi everyone, my name is Selima Henock, a senior reporter at NBC Newsroom. Usually, if I'm on the morning shift, I'll come in the morning, and depending on what time my story is or what my assigning editor assigned to me, I'll go according to that. Like today, for example, I had a story in Oganja, so I had to go a little bit early. So I rushed in the office and had to rush out again just to go to the story that was in Oganja starting in the morning. And then after that, you go to a story, you come back, and then you have to compile the story, and the editors have to go through it. You do your rough cuts. If I'm not assigned to a story, then I have to come up with my own stories. Sometimes I look into the archives of the stories that I did that need to be finished, and then I continue with them, or I do the stories that I'm assigned to do for the day. The newsroom can get quite hectic, but what we do, it's just that you make sure that you deliver at the end of the day. But when you get a story or when it's a deadline, for example, that's why in the news sometimes you eat your lunch while you are working. Our working hours are just not regular. It's out of this world, I should say. You can't just say that, okay, these are certain hours that I said I need to work according to that. I think people think that it's an easy job that you can get into being a journalist because you can earn quick bucks. But I just feel like people take this for granted. We are the fourth estate, and we matter a lot because of the information that we bring. Because we are on the ground, we bring stories to the fore so that policymakers can see what is happening on the ground and act on it. So coming into this field, don't just come because you feel like it's an easy job. Persistence matters, because if you get a no the first time, it doesn't mean that that's your final answer. That you need to be persistent, you need to find answers. You don't just give up on the first no. My early days of reporting, I remember when the time change came about, the former Education Minister Katrina Anseimarwa, she's late now, they changed time because we had to have two different time frames. There was two different times. Winter they will change to a certain time. So I reported on it because I woke up so early, and I had to follow the children around that in the informal settlements that were going to school, and they were walking into the riverbeds, and it was quite dark and it was dangerous for them. And I remember reporting on it after following these children. And then the minister the next day, because of the report that I did, had to change time for schools when the kids are going to school, when it's not darker. So for me, it just shows the impact that we have as reporters. Being a journalist or a news reporter is like a school in itself. You learn every day. My friends and family say that I'm a workaholic, but honestly, if I have to work, I work. But if I have to rest, I rest. So I'll make sure that I work as much as I can, but when it comes to rest, I can sleep the whole weekend just being home in bed and maybe watching a movie or reading my favorite book. When we were growing up, it wasn't really easy for us because my father lost his job when we were still very young. So my mom like stepped into a role of kind of like providing. He never stops until the job is done, and I think that is how I am. I will not go home if something is not done, if the job is not done. I do not like to sleep on something that I need to do. He will always tell us that study so that one day you will also have your own things. And I think for me, she has been a motivation throughout. Now that I'm thinking about it, hey, oh wow, okay, she is my motivation, yes.